Am I the right person to be doing this video? I don't know. I don't know. Hi there. My name is Zach Call, Friendly Neighborhood Game Master here. This video very simply is supposed to be a short introduction on how to get started playing Pathfinder Second Edition. If you're used to other games, especially like the big one from the Dragon Company, it might take just adjustments, like which books do I need to go buy? Like, are they going to be available in my local game store? Where's the best place to buy them? You want to get your game group going, but you don't really know where to get started. So this is that video. Quick, dirty, simple. I see this posted on Reddit all the time. Maybe this will help. I adjusted my camera between cuts. Okay, so there is a core rule book that has everything that you, the GM, and the entire party could use to run a Pathfinder 2e game. It is called the Core Rulebook. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It's a hefty tome. This one book, I believe, has about the same page count as the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition Player's Handbook, Game Master Guide, and the first Bestiary. So all those three things are in this one huge book. Now, to be clear, there's also a Game Master Advanced Game what's it called? It's called the Game Mastery Guide, and then there's also separate Bestiary books. They're freaking huge and really good, but you don't need those things to get started. Literally, even the GM, you guys can start playing immediately with just the core rulebook. The core rulebook sells for 60-ish US dollars, at least here in the States. But good news, yes, you can get a legally purchased, high quality PDF straight from the publisher Paizo, $15 on Paizo.com. If you're not the type of person that wants to invest $60+ on shipping or having this huge book to carry around, $15 gets you the PDF, and I mean, you know, legally share it with like just the folks in your group, what have you. All the PDFs come watermarked with like your Paizo account number, so that if people start doing bad things with them, then Paizo can track down who was responsible and blah, blah, blah. Just don't do it. I think one of the reasons why Pathfinder 2e is so successful is because Paizo is making it as easy as possible to get going. This video is just to point you in the right direction. Another point in the right direction, if you don't want to spend any money, I mean no money, you don't have to. All of the rules, the entire SRD covers everything in all of the rule books. It doesn't cover any art, and it doesn't cover things like copyrighted material when it comes to the setting Galarian. All that stuff is not available in the next thing I'm about to tell you. But everything you actually need to run a game, the rule set, everything with your classes, everything with your equipment, all of the spells, monsters, blah, 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 all that is available for free online. It's on a website called archivesofnethys.com. Nethys is a knowledge god in Galarian, the Pathfinder cosmology, which is like the reference. It's a reference. Archives of Nethys is the official digital compendium, I would say, for Paizo. Like, they work together. Generally, things, new material that comes out, because Paizo actually releases new rules and additional material for the game like twice a year, in addition to all the adventures and stuff that they publish monthly. Archives of Nethys works with them, so you can go to the doobie-doo. I might put it right here on the screen. It's definitely in the description to the video. Archives of Nethys 2e.aonprd.com is the direct link to the second edition Pathfinder. They also have stuff for Pathfinder First Edition and Starfinder. If you're interested in those games, it's all on that website. But for second edition, you can just look stuff up on Archives of Nethys for free. Seriously, free. There's no login required. You don't have to give up any personal information. They're not even going to get your email to like send you marketing emails. It's just free. Now, for me, that was too much. I needed the actual book. I do think it is helpful to just have the book so you can read it in the order as intended. It's great as something to hand off to players that are legitimately interested in like learning the rules if they're coming from a different D20 game or brand new to the hobby of pen and paper RPGs in general. Get the book. $15 PDF, $60+ for the actual hardcover. There's a pocket edition, which I think is essentially like a smaller print soft cover version that's only like $30. Maybe it's $40. I think it's $30. So if you want something in between a PDF, like you want something physical but you don't want this huge hardback, they've got a pocket edition, which is their soft covers for cheaper. But literally all you need to do to run the game is that core rulebook. You can absolutely run the game with just that one book and then look up anything additional you might want on Archives of Nethys, and that's it. There you go. Video done. Okay, so you want a little bit more information than just knowing the core rulebook. Sure. What kind of adventure should I get? Maybe you've heard of Paizo, and that Paizo is actually pretty legendary and very good at creating published adventures for their games. That was true for Pathfinder. It is still true for Starfinder, and it is still, in my humble opinion, very true for Second Edition. My group started with the Beginner's Box, which is a relatively new-ish product for Pathfinder Second Edition. I think superb. A great adventure for first level characters. It has some rules out of the, like, just in the box. So if you don't even want to commit to the $15 for the full rule book, you could just spend the $50 on the Beginner's Box, use the pre-generated characters in it, and it has enough rules material for you, the GM, and your players to be able to play a full first level of 4 characters and like have an absolute blast. For me and my gaming group, it was 10 hours. Some people are going to be able to blast through it in like 3 or 4 hours, especially if your gaming group is experienced with these types of games like Pathfinder. But my group had 10 hours of absolute mayhem fun. And it was well worth the money. And that's on top of me investing an entire shelf full of Pathfinder material. The Beginner's Box is a totally legit alternative beginning step to getting the core rulebook. Or Injunction, use the Beginner Box as your first adventure. They lay it out specifically so that it introduces new game mechanics step by step as you go, so that you and the party are kind of learning as you go. It doesn't throw everything at you at once, since there are a decent amount of rules, especially if you're coming from a different style game that isn't as rules heavy, or if you're used to having to just come up with a lot of stuff on the fly in other D20 games like 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. There are a lot of rules in Pathfinder. The good news is it's all there laid out for you, and it's easy to reference, especially with free online tools like Archives of Nethys. You just type in the search box, fall damage, falling rules, and just like, boom, it's right there. You got it. The Beginner's Box adventure takes you all the way through like levels, like you should level up at least once in the Beginner's Box, which is great, gives characters and your players experience going through that level up process. And then that adventure does just kind of fall into and is a good introduction into a full levels 1 through 20 adventure path called the Abomination Vault, which is extremely popular enough to the point where Paizo is actually doing a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition conversion of that adventure path, which I think is great. I personally cannot speak to any personal experience to Abomination Vaults, but almost everyone that I've talked to that has run it said it's probably one of the best dungeon crawl adventure paths in the modern pen and paper role-playing game sphere space right now, which is high praise, because at the end of the day, that's kind of what the game can be all about for specific groups. So there you go. So that's it. Get the core rulebook. If you don't want to pay for it, you can look at all the rules for free on Archives of Nethys. You can buy the Beginner's Box and use pre-generated characters. Yeah, I mean, that's it. And that's it. That's it. That's all you need. You just need the core rule book or the beginner's guide or online tool like Archive of Nethys to get started. There's some additional tools that I'm just going to name. You can go research yourself. There are two great character builder tools called Path Builder or Wanderer's Guide. Those are kind of your two options. It's a great, easy way, a free way of building characters with all of the rules available to the class. So if you're brand new or your players are brand new, Path Builder or Wanderer's Guide, great way to kind of help you walk through the ABCs of creating new characters. Even as a GM, I suggest you give it a shot. If you're looking to play online, virtually, highly recommend you check out Foundry Virtual Tabletop if you haven't already. The Pathfinder 2e system there is really, really well done. It is available for free as a system for Foundry. So you pay the one-time licensing fee for Foundry, and then you pretty much get anything you want to for Pathfinder free, including like the character sheet with a lot of automations built into it. And Paizo has actually partnered with Foundry and some third-party companies in order to create full like digital versions of their adventure paths so that you can purchase an adventure path one click for Foundry and get all your maps and tokens and monster stat blocks and adventures, blah, 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 like in Foundry, easy peasy. So if you're playing virtually, check out Foundry. And that's it. That's all you need. 3 options to get started. I highly recommend my go-to. Get the PDF from paizo.com for the core rulebook. Buy the physical beginner's box if you are playing online, or if you're playing in person. If you're not playing in person, check out Foundry Virtual Tabletop and the beginner's box there. You can buy the beginner's box and run it, and it is spectacular. So that's it. Hope this helped. If you have any more questions about Pathfinder 2e, highly suggest dropping them in the comments. I or the community we built here on YouTube can help chime in. If you are looking for more discussion around Pathfinder, I highly recommend the Pathfinder 2e subreddit. It's really well modded. The community there is really great and accepting of answering new folks' questions. I will admit, there's a lot of new people switching from 5th edition to Pathfinder and are asking a lot of repetitive questions. So if you have questions, use the search feature and see if your question has already been asked and answered. But I hope this helps. Enjoy playing Pathfinder. I'm having so much fun with my gaming group playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I hope you do too. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.